Hello there, Love Monanjaya here, and welcome to the Python tutorial. This is our second tutorial in the series, and in this video we are going to look at variables, data types, typecasting, and interactive programs. A variable is a placeholder or container for data items in memory while the program is in execution. So rules for naming variables. 1. Variables must start with a letter or an underscore. It must be alphanumeric with no special characters other than the underscore. It must not be a Python keyword. A keyword is a word with special meaning in Python. For example, words like wow, it, else, import, etc. As a matter of convention, never start a variable with an uppercase letter. Such are used for class names in object-oriented programming. We'll look at those in future videos. Now, let's look at data types. We have numeric types, which include integer. And the keyword for integer is int. An integer is a number without a decimal point. It can be negative or positive. Then we have float. Those are numbers with decimal points, either positive or negative. And then we have complex numbers, which include an imaginary number denoted by the letter J. We have text type. For text type, we have string with keyword str. Then we have sequence types. By the way, in this video, we are only going to focus on numeric types, namely integer and float, and the text type. Okay. These others, we will handle them in future videos. Then we have sequence types that include lists with the keyword list. Then we have tuples and range. Then we have the mapping type. Mapping type, we have dictionaries, keyword dict. Then we have set types. Here we have sets. Then we have Boolean type. The values for this are true and false, or true or false. Then we have the binary types. Like I stated earlier, we are going to focus on integers, float, and string in this video. Okay, so now let's look at some operators. We have the first one, the plus, that's for addition. Then the minus symbol for subtraction. Then the asterisk is for multiplication. / for division. The double slash is for floor division. This one ignores fractions. Then we have the modulus, which gives us the remainder of a division operation. And then we have exponentiation, the double asterisk. That is raising a number to the power of another number. We'll look at examples of this in this tutorial. So let's do some programming. So the first program we're going to write is called variables demo. I'm going to open up my editor. I'm using IDLE, short for Integrated Development and Learning Environment. So IDLE is an acronym. So go to new file, and then I'm going to save this. Okay, so I'll place my file here. Here we go, variables demo. Okay, our editor is open. Now, before we begin, I must mention that Python is dynamically typed, meaning a variable can accept data of any type. Let's create a variable called x. And we're going to say hello world. Okay, now this equal sign here is an assignment operator, so which means we are placing this value into this variable x, or we are assigning the string hello world to the x variable. So this does not mean x is equal to hello world, but what this actually means is that we are assigning hello world to this variable. So let's say print x. Let's see what we get. So we go to run, then we say run module. Okay, so there it is. So our program has displayed what is contained in the variable x. Now, one thing you should note is that if you want to display contents of a variable, you do not use quotation marks around that. So let me just demonstrate this by adding some quotation marks here, some quotes. When we run it, what you are going to get is the letter x, because this means that x is a literal and not a variable. So if you want to print or display what is in a variable, make sure you do not use the quotes. Okay, so here we go. Okay, now let's assign a number to this same variable. Let's say 34. And then we print our x again. We run it. So we have hello world and then 34. So what has happened here is that 34 has overwritten what was previously contained in x. And like I stated earlier, in Python, the variables accept data of any type. So it has now changed from a string variable to a variable containing an integer. Python is dynamically typed. Okay, that's an example right there. So whatever you assign to a variable overrides what was there previously. So we can now assign a float. Then we use our print function to display our result. So we should have 3 results now. So we have hello world string, then integer 34, and then finally we have our float value of 3.2. So let's try to assign a complex number. So x equal to 3j. We print x again. We say save. It will always ask you to save before it runs. Alright, so we have 3j. That's our complex number. Another point to note concerning variables is that they are case sensitive. So let's just try to create another variable with uppercase X. We are just going to make it a string variable. So we've assigned hello to the uppercase X. So let's display the content of the uppercase X variable and the content of our area variable, the lowercase x. So you can see that the string hello did not overwrite our complex number. This is because Python treats them as two different variables. You can also define or declare multiple variables in a single line. For instance, we have y, comma, z equal to 34, comma, 12. And so let's print out the contents of the two. We say print y, print z. Right. So you can see that 34 was assigned to y and 12 to z in that order. If you want to assign the same value to both variables, you do it like this. Y is equal to z is equal to 12. The meaning of this is that 12 is assigned to z, and then the value of z is assigned to y. So you have 12 in both variables. Let's print this. Let's see what happens. Print y. Oops. Then print z. Run it. We save as usual. So we have 12 in y and 12 in z. We can also display the contents of more than one variable in one print statement and do it like this. X, comma, you just put a comma there and we run it. Then you have the output side by side. You can also combine literal strings and put quotes there. Say value of x is, you close the quote and put a comma there, another comma there, then you say value of c is, and put a comma there. We run it. There we go. Value of x is this complex number, and value of z is 12. Now let's do some arithmetic. We are going to write another program. Let's say new file here. And we'll save it as arith_demo. Okay, so here we go. We are going to create two variables called num1 and num2. So num1 will contain 12, num2 will contain 10. Okay, so let's print out what we have in these two variables. Yes. Say num1 equals and num2 equals num2. I forgot to add num1 there. Num1 1 comma that. I think that's fine. Don't forget our closing parenthesis. We run it. There it is. num1 equals 12 and num2 equals 10. Okay, so let's try to add the two numbers. We say answer equals num1 plus num2. Then we display what is in there. So we run it. Okay, so we have our answer 22. 12 plus 10 equals 22. Another way we can display this answer is by doing the addition right here. Print num1 plus num2. Run it, and there, 22, 22. So the first 22 is coming from this statement, and the second 22 is coming from that statement. So you can do that as well. Let's try multiplication. We'll say print num1 divided by num2. Num2 is equal to, so we close the quotes, then comma, say num1, asterisk for multiplication, num2. have that string displayed, and we also have the result of this multiplication here displayed. So let's run it. That's our answer. 10 multiplied by 12 is equal to 120. Let's try division. Print. Num1 divided by num2 is equal to, so we have that string there. Then the actual division, num1 divided by num2, and it will give us the answer of this division here. Let's run it. Okay, there. So 12 divided by 10, we get 1.2. Close it, we try another operation. Let's do some floor division. Print. Num1 divided by num2 is equal to, we close our quotes, and then num1 num2, close that, we run it. And there. Remember, floor division ignores the fraction. So 12 divided by 10 has given us 1. Okay, let's try the modulus. Print. Num1 modulus num2 is equal to num1 modulus num2. We run it. There. We have 2. So 12 divided by 10 is 1, remainder 2. So the remainder is what we get there. Let's try exponentiation. Print. This time we won't use variables, we'll use numbers. 2 to the power 2 to give us 4. Okay, let's try 2 to the power 3. It has given us 8. What would happen if we tried to add strings or string variables? Let's say x equal to go, and then y, we assign to y the word yes. Say x plus y. So what we get are the two words joined together. This is known as concatenation. So the plus sign is also a concatenation operator. So when you use text, it will join the two together. It will concatenate. But then if you try to add a numeric value to a text value, you get an error. Yeah. So this is known as a syntax error. It means you have broken the rules of writing Python statements. Syntax refers to the rules for writing statements in a programming language. This also includes correct spelling. If you violate any of the rules, you get an error message. So here the message reads, unsupported operand type for plus, and here it tells us int and string. Okay, so in short, it's illegal to add a string to an int or to any numeric data type. So you either add string to string, which is concatenation, or numeric to numeric. Now let's look at typecasting. We're going to write another program for a typecasting example. So here we save it. Here's our typecasting demo. Yes. Typecasting simply means converting one data type to another. So let's do this. So we have our x variable here. Say 22 in quotes. And y variable with another 22 in quotes there. So now once you put these quotes around the figure, it becomes a string. So this is no longer numeric, it's now a string. So let's see what happens when we add print x plus y. We run it, and the result is concatenation instead of addition. So we are going to convert these string types to integer. So what we'll do is we'll create a variable v, and we'll say equal to int, and then x, which is currently containing a string 22, and then we have w, then we say int y. So this int here converts x which is currently a string, into int and stores the value in v. And then this one converts the string 22 into an integer and stores the value in w. So we say print v plus w, we get 44. So the two have now been converted to integer. Another way of doing it is you can say print, then int x plus int y. Don't forget to close that, so we have double parentheses. This one closes that, and this one closes this one. Okay, so let's run it. Okay, we have 44. Okay, so the first 44 is from that statement, and the second 44 is from this statement. And then this is from the first statement, which is x plus y, attempting to add two literal strings. Now we are going to try floats. Okay, so we say 22.2, 22.2. We already know what will happen if we attempt to add this. It will concatenate. So for us to add them as numbers, we use the keyword float to convert them to float, because they have a decimal point there. Float x plus float y. We close that. So let's run it. We have 44.4, so it has worked. So what would happen if we tried to convert this literal string with a decimal point in there to integer? We say print int x. If we did that, we'll get a syntax error there. And it says invalid literal for int with base 10. That's 22.2. So you cannot directly convert a string which has a decimal point in it. So what you need to do is you first convert it to float and then to int. But if we tried to, so let's try to convert this to float, and it gives us the 22.2 that is contained in x. So let's try this weird looking statement. and we now have int. So what I've done here is I have first converted the float or the x to float, and then converted the result of this to int. So this statement here has the same effect as doing this: v equal to float x. So we've converted this x from string to float and stored the value in v, and then we say print int v. So the float value that is contained in that then is now converted to int. So let's see what happens. We run it. We should have two 22s. Yes. The first 22 is coming from this, and then the second 22 is coming from this statement. Okay. So this is one way of doing it. This is another way of doing it. So Python begins with the innermost, first converts x to float, and then converts the result of that to int. So that's how we do our typecasting. And if you want to convert v to complex number, simply say we use the word complex with lowercase c. Complex v. We run it. Let's see what we have. And we get our complex number with a j. That's how typecasting works. Now let's look at user input. So we are going to create another file. We'll save it as input demo. Okay. So to make our program interactive, we are going to allow the user to enter some values, and we do that by first enter the name of the variable and the assignment operator there, and then instead of print we say input. Okay, so we say in quotes enter a number. Okay. Then we have y, so input, enter another number. close the quotes and close the parentheses. And then here we say print x plus y. Okay, so let's run it. So you see, it has given us this prompt, enter a number. So we say 4. Press enter. The next prompt shows enter another number. We're going to pick 6. And then enter. We have a problem. Y is not defined. Yes, I used capital Y here. I used uppercase Y. So let's do it now that it's corrected. Enter a number, 4. Enter another number, 6. We press enter. And what do we get? 46. 4 plus 6 is not 46. So clearly what has happened here is that it has concatenated the 4 and 6. Why? Because anything that is entered by the user is treated as a string. So to correct this situation, we are going to do some typecasting. So we'll say int x plus int y, like that. So let's try it. So we enter our 4 there, press enter, enter 6. We have the correct result, which is 10. In our code here, the first line displays this prompt, and then the cursor will be blinking right at the end of this to allow the user to enter a value. The moment that is done, the next statement is executed, and this is displayed. User enters a 6. When they press enter, then this statement is executed. It prints the result of this addition, and we get our answer. For output, we use the print statement, this one. And then for input or user input, we use the input functions. These are actually functions, and we are going to look at functions in future videos. So this is a function, one of the built-in functions. This is where our lesson ends. Please practice everything you've done on your own. See you next time.